Hey everybody, and welcome to Movie Files. Elliot and Morgan here to share with you guys our thoughts on the film Life Itself, which we actually saw a week ago. But Life Itself came about for us, and we're going to review it the night of.
Well, let me just tell you, I had to pick myself up off the goddamn
it
floor.
was a pretty emotional wreck.
Very emotional roller coaster.
So we were going to record it last week. We had a wedding. So long story short, we are here to give you guys our thoughts on the film. But before we dive deep into this review, which is a non-spoiler review, I want to welcome everyone to Movie Files. This is your first time tuning in. We got reviews on movies, TV shows, unboxing videos, trailer reactions, all that fun stuff. So definitely subscribe to our channel and also hit that little notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our content. And then for everyone returning back to Movie Files, we always appreciate you guys coming back in. So with that being said, Morgan, why don't you tell the people who directed this film, what's this movie about, and also who starred in this movie?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of stuff,
I certainly will. All right. So this movie was directed by Dan Fogelman.
There you go.
Elliot thought that I was going to mess that up. And we had stars such as Oscar Isaac.
Phenomenal actor.
Olivia Wilde.
We
threw in another Olivia
Can't
Cooke,
have too many Olivias.
and the handsome Antonio Banderas. Yes.
Right. Banderas.
All right, so this film covers various different generations of people in New York, in Spain, and how their worlds intertwine.
Yeah, so with that, guys, again, no spoilers. Morgan and I are just going to touch on some positives, some negatives, and then give you guys our overall thoughts.
Can I also say, this movie is brought to us by the person who also did This Is Us.
Yes.
And can you believe
little fun facts.
that he actually wrote this movie before This Is Us?
I've heard that too. She just surprised. I didn't know she knew that, guys. She's just full of surprises. Yes, that's very true. Yeah. This Is Us. I know, Morgan, you gave it a chance. I popped in and out. I just kind of, it got a little old to me, like the whole shtick of like the kids would remember something they did when they were kids, and the whole episode was like switching between present day and back. And this got a little old.
I got to a point where I was just crying too much.
Yeah, it's just
I had to
ran out of tissue
pretty much.
So you had to let the show go. Yeah. So, but I mean,
but there were some good moments.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of, going into this film, I was a little worried about that because I'm like, oh, this is the guy from This Is Us. So
I actually now would like to see like a documentary of this man's life. Like, what has he been through to give us such beautiful?
Interesting. He tells stories about family drama pretty well. So, and that's where I want to kind of start off with in this review. Number one, I'm going to start off with the performances. As you mentioned, a phenomenal cast, and there's a lot of supporting actors too that actresses in this film that were in this. But for me, I would say Oscar Isaac, who's always great, did a really great job in this film.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Olivia Cooke, whether it be Earl.
You've never even seen that.
Dying Girl. I've seen her moment. What's the name of the movie?
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
I've seen her part. I've seen bits and pieces in it, and I like her performance. Thoroughbreds, you can see the review on that on our channel, as well as Ready Player One. So I'm a huge fan of hers. I thought she was a standout. And then, as Morgan mentioned, Antonio Banderas. He's a great actor. He's been acting for a long time. This is probably one of my favorite performances of his. It was really just a great performance all in all for the whole cast. But those are some standouts for me. Was there anyone that stood out?
Well, let me just say this. Every single character or player, whatever, was important in this movie.
Definitely.
And Elliot really hit the nail on the head. Like, obviously, like our big names, that were very well-known actors, they did phenomenal. Oscar Isaac killed it. Yes. Anyway, also, I love just everyone's relationship with each other. They're, it was really, they were. It was beautiful. And, I loved everyone. Like,
no, it was an ensemble cast, and I thought, like you said, everyone that had, whether it was one scene or main, I wouldn't say this movie had a main character.
Well, here's the thing. So this movie, and I keep wanting to say it was based off a book. It's not, but it's done in chapters, and that's why I think that I want to keep saying that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is kind of hard to say that there's a main character because throughout each chapter, some people are in multiple chapters. Yeah. But I think it's a little hard to say that there's a main character. Yeah. There's a main character in each chapter, perhaps. But
as they kind of mentioned in the movie, there's heroes and villains per se. But
just wow.
Yeah. So that was going to be my next point. I kind of really liked the storytelling element because, again, Dan Fogelman. If you guys watch This Is Us, again, the way the show is kind of formatted, it's a lot of flashbacks mixed in with the present time, which I thought this film would have done that, where we were going to be going from continent to continent and storyline to storyline, but it was actually, like Morgan said, it's chapters, so it helped you kind of focus on these characters versus kind of being confused and like going back to one moment to the next.
That they did it in chapters.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good storytelling method.
So great.
Yeah, I thought that really worked well versus, like I said, going to like past, forward, and intertwine. I thought, the chapters worked really well for me. And also, too, as you guys know, again, This Is Us, a very emotional show. If you don't cry watching this show, your heart probably is missing.
Let me tell you, each chapter, I
emotionally more emotional than the previous.
Yes, and there were definite like twists and turns in each chapter. Some things like you just were not expecting. Wow.
Yeah, and to that point, I thought that the emotional moments were, again, This Is Us. To me, it got a little old because that's what. To me, it seemed like the show was reaching at your heartstrings throughout the entire. Like they want that, and to them, that's like a success. If we can get them to cry enough, that's a success for us. Where sometimes the story isn't really there for me, but I felt like
Is it on Hulu?
I think it is, but I feel like this moment, the emotional moments were earned because you got to know the character, you shared this moment within these chapters, and you felt those moments and those strategies. So I thought that worked really well. Was there anything else that you could think of as far as positives before we kind of get into the negatives here?
I mean, literally almost everything to me was a positive. So if I can just throw that, just the movie, it was so good.
For me, and not every film, I think your score might be higher than mine, but not every film is perfect. I would say for me some negatives. The second act to me kind of lost a little momentum. There was some storytelling elements that I didn't really agree with. And I would say that I wanted some more of a certain relationship. Again, I love Olivia Cooke. She's in it a pretty good amount of the film, but I want a little bit more of her character. And you'll see what I mean once you guys see the film. And for those that have seen it, probably can agree with me. Or if not, let me know in the comments. But also too, there's a little bit some far-fetched things going on in this movie that certain relationships would have been kind of the odds of people running into each other and certain things happening a little bit far. I mean, it's a movie, but to me, those are just little nitpicky
things. This is
things.
The same man who is like obsessed with superhero movies. So
I can pick some things out of this film. But anyway, those are the little nitpicky. Literally, though, the biggest thing was there was a little bit of pacing issues in the second act to me, and then also. After the second act, it became a little. You kind of knew where things were headed towards the end of the film.
The only negative I would say, and it's not about the movie per se, but we went and saw this at a screening, and we got there a little bit later than normal.
This is more of a movie
it was freaking packed.
Yeah, and we were like,
so we were sitting in like the second row at this angle where like our heads were like back. And that at first I was like, I kind of don't want to watch this movie. This is too much.
And they were like super close ups too, so it was just kind of like almost watching.
And I will say the very first act, I think we both agreed on this.
First 15 minutes of the film was kind of.
We were like, where the hell are they going? This is
very comedic weird. Moments, a surprise cameo.
Comedic moments that were like inappropriate, almost like it would be like, why are we making fun of this? But I will say they did a great job connecting, and then later on you're like, oh, okay, all right, got it.
Gotcha. But no, I will agree with you. That little nitpick with the theater, at first it was a little annoying.
Not the movie's fault at all.
So as far as just wrapping up this video and kind of touching on our overall thoughts, I'm going to let you take it away. What would you, overall thoughts, and give me a score. So before you give us our score, which you just, I guess, revealed there, overall thoughts of this film, this experience in life itself.
It was amazing. I absolutely adored this movie. And so I will say, going into this movie, I immediately thought, just because of the genre, that I would enjoy it more than you. But I didn't think that I would enjoy it this much, because we cut cable recently, so I couldn't fully remember what the trailer was about but from what I remembered, the movie was different than I originally thought it was going to be. It played more like a
romantic comedy between Olivia Wilde and Oscar Isaac.
And that's what I was not expecting to literally bawl my eyes out. So I think, though, what I really love is I think there's a part in this movie that everyone can connect with. And I know I had personal connections. And I like a movie that can make me feel all the feels. And I feel like this movie did a great job. I also like that they addressed like mental health issues. Yeah. And then, you know, just like grieving and what that's like, and you know, finding, you know, your people to help you get through that. So I think that it had some really great positive messages. I loved it.
Score?
A 5.
A 5.
5 out of 5.
Wow.
I freaking love this movie.
There you go.
And I would go see it again in the movie theater. Like, you guys, I've cried in movies before, but I was like sobbing.
She was
like I was like, I'm gonna start making like noises.
Yeah, she was there.
Yes.
And it caught me too off guard. Now I'm just gonna wrap up too as far as my overall thoughts. As you mentioned, and you said it very well, the film worked as a whole. I thought the message was there. You know, there's tragedies in life, there's ups and downs, but those are building points of building character. And I thought this film had a pretty good uplifting ending to it. It was just a feel-good movie to me. Again, it was very emotional, which if I were to warn you guys, bring the I mean, some people might not be as emotional as others, but I think for the most part, there's some emotional moments that you can find in this film.
When we were driving home, I started talking about a scene and I started crying again.
It was pretty emotional. So definitely like, bring the tissues with you.
I can't do this review right now.
When you get your popcorn, use that tissue for, you know, tearing, because it's pretty emotional. But for me, I was pretty pleased with this movie. Very surprised.
He's going to give it a half.
A 4 out of 5. Okay. A solid 4 out of 5.
Not even a 4.5?
Not a 4.5. Again, I thought, you know, the beginning was a little weird, and then the pacing issues. And for me, I know you mentioned she would like to see this again. I thought after a week removed from this film, I was kind of the same boat, but for me, I kind of got what I got out of the movie.
So that's why we didn't go see it again.
No, we missed the second screening. But anyway, for me, I seen the movie, twist and turn in there. I don't know if I'd have to see it again. Personally, I enjoyed what I got.
We will be owning it.
She'll be, this girl here, when she likes a movie, it's on constant repeat. So I would imagine once it comes out, it's going to be just playing in the background, and I'll hear Morgan crying.
It'll be a part of the Collins-Wayman household.
So there you have it. 5 out of 5, perfect film. No wrongs from this film from Morgan. She really enjoyed it. I give it a 4 out of 5. So let us know what you guys thought of this movie once you've seen it. If you're interested in seeing it, again, we cut the cable cord, so we don't really know what's the promotional train going for this movie. So
we know it got a standing ovation at TIFF.
During TIFF, which was the day after we saw it. So I don't know where the ratings are now, but anyway, let us know what you guys saw of this film, as well as check out our other content, guys. Again, we just did a trailer reaction for Captain Marvel, which is awesome. Apostle on Netflix, movie reviews for The Predator, The Nun, A Simple Favor. So check that out. Like this video.
The rest this year is going to be lit with the movies.
Yes,
so
cannot wait for what we got coming pretty soon for you guys. So like, share, and comment below.
Time
Halloween's right around the corner, so definitely keep an eye out for that, guys. Subscribe to our channel, check out our other content, and we will see you guys on the next video.
Bye.